Chris, what's up? It's James Adair from Sierra Pacific Mortgage and the PDX Home Loan Team, and we're here for another episode of the Equity Accelerator podcast.
Let's do it.
I'm super excited because one of my old friends from music playing days has resurfaced in my social media feed, and he's selling real estate now, and he's got a really cool story to tell. His name's Jonny. What's up, Jonny? Welcome to the podcast.
Jonny Fritz.
Yeah, that's right.
That's a cool name, Jonny Fritz. Is that your real name, Jonny Fritz?
It is. That's my real name.
It's like a total stage name.
Yeah.
I know, well, he's had a stage name before.
Yeah.
When I met him, it was not Jonny Fritz, but it is now.
Johnny Corndog forever. But
Johnny
Corndog.
yeah. It's
Is that with a DAWG?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That's unforgettable.
That was kind of the idea, it was like I was getting all these gigs as opening or like come up and sing one song, like, all right. And I had that Corndog name since I was a little kid. I don't even remember where it came from, but I thought, well, it's not going to be that bad. If I got one song, I don't think people will forget it, So it worked for a while, but I haven't gone by Corndog in a while either.
That's amazing. So you sell real estate now down in LA, is that right?
Yeah, I sure do. I've been actually branding myself as LA's only realtor.
Hilarious.
LA's only real estate. So if you need to buy or sell a home, there's only one person. You have one option, and that's
one call does it all. One call does it all.
The good news is that I'm great at it, and I'm really easy to work with. So
I love it.
Although you don't have any options, the one that you have is a great one.
Well, that's something that really popped out at me when I knew you as a songwriter and as a performer, was that your performance was not just on the stage. It really went all the way. It was like a full on experience, because you'd do the songs, you'd had tapes or records to sell after the show, and you would do this performance art in the merch area too, with like airbrushes and leather work, and you were doing all kinds of folk art to sell, like these really magnificent, very special mementos of the concert experience. And I seen you on Instagram, and you've really brought that into your real estate practice as well in a really fun way. I mean, just like what you said with using humor, but really using art, and all of your natural impulses have not gone away at all. In fact, you've just folded them into the practice. And I want you to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I've been having a great time. I've always just been fiercely ambitious and trying to like really seek out the places that have potential. I toured as a musician for about 15 years, and it was just such a it's just such a hard life. There's no money. There's nothing. There's no real way to get ahead, except there really is if you're smart about, you have effectively however many people have come to your show. They're there to buy something. They're there to buy alcohol, and they're there to be entertained. And luckily, if you put some stupid gadgets in front of them, they'll probably buy them. So if you can make it fun, and I think if you can make it interesting, you can actually do pretty well with the merchandise. And I saw that pretty early on, and was really lucky with that. And then I got really into leather working, and started making leather. I thought, well, if I promote the leather work while I'm on tour, when I get home, and that's the other hard part about touring, is when you get home, you have no more income. So, but you also can't get a job, because if you're going to go back on tour, you can't hold a job. Nobody wants to hire you. You don't want to have to quit. And so I developed this thing where anywhere there was there was space after the tour that needed income. So I'll do the leather work stuff. And there was space after the show where you could really push the merchandise stuff. So those were kind of my ways of going about it. And I just always wanted to have fun with it. So after I got really sick of touring, I bought a house in Nashville and wanted to settle down there for a little while. And I just got really lucky. I'd saved up maybe $5,000, and I was going to Nashville for a 6-week layover effectively, and needed to record the score to this documentary. So I thought, well, I don't have a place to live. Maybe if this producer is paying for it, maybe we can rent out a house, and I'll have a place to live as well as a place to record. And I ended up falling in love with the place and just like, God, like this place is incredible. The lady said, well, we've been trying to sell it, but not really trying that hard. And how much do you want? You know, we wanted 115, but if you bought it, you know, we'd sell it without real estate agents. I'll give it to you for 110. Thought, okay, great. And so she hooked me up. This lady walked me through the whole process and got me a loan officer. And we did an FHA deal. I put $3,500 down on it.
Wow.
The payment was $700. It was $500 mortgage with 200 PMI.
Sure.
700 all in. And it was a 3-bedroom place in Nashville. And I was there for those 6 weeks and then pretty quickly moved out of it. And, you know, just going by market rents, it pretty quickly went up to about $1,600 a month. I was like, oh my God, I get why people eventually get into real estate, you know? And people in my community were kind of, other musicians were kind of like, how the hell did you get a house? You know, you don't have anything. Like, I know. I don't have anything. I'm just down here in the gutter, but I did. I bought a house and I was so fascinated with it. I thought, you know, of all the loopholes in the world, I think real estate is the principle. It's like this
great American loophole.
Great American loophole. It truly is. You know?
That's perfect.
So I started to really just preach the word of real estate to people not really knowing what I was talking about and not having a license. And I helped 6 people. I'm embarrassed to say I helped 6 people in Nashville buy houses just through emphatic educating, you know, like, let's go look at some houses. Like, you can do this.
Before you were licensed?
Yeah. I mean, I just thought, you know, like
this is the power of your enthusiasm. Just got them in the door.
And I was embarrassed, you know, I didn't want to be a real estate agent. I wanted to be an artist. I wanted to be on tour and stuff, but I also fell in love with it. I really love this. I just became so passionate over it so quickly, and just couldn't help but to be on Redfin and Zillow all the time, scrolling across America, especially on tour, just like, oh wow, what's that place go for? Muncie, Indiana, what, 30,000? My God, 30 grand. If you're gonna live here, you might as well buy that, you know. So I just really was so enthused by the whole thing, and it took me a long time to get my license. I didn't get my license until, so the end of that story is that I sold it 2 years ago. And it listed, and then 5 hours later sold for cash for $230,000.
Whoa.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it was like 5 years of just bread and butter just coming in. And then when it sold, it just, good Lord, this is incredible. And, you know, wow. So I got my license, and I really have, I don't want to be on tour anymore. I really just want to be home, and I've wanted to be home for years, but you know how it is. You get stuck in it. And also when music is working, you want to keep doing it, you know, even though it's still so hard, but there are, you know, if you complain about it, there are 1,000 people right behind you that would kill you to take your place. Like,
I know, right?
You're succeeding. Like, yeah, but still 20,000.
I always felt like whenever I learned so much about goal setting being in a band, you know. It's just like, well, if we could just get into a studio and record a song, then like that's the thing. But then by the time you get into the studio and you're like, well, now we need to record 5 songs, or now, like, right. Whenever you're accomplishing the goal, you don't even care about that goal anymore. You're on the next goal.
That's right. Yeah.
And like, oh, if we could just get a tour booked, or if we could just get a label to like put out this single or something.
All I need is
by the time you get it, it's like you don't care about it anymore.
Absolutely.
And I think, I mean, a lot of like, that to me, that's just about growing. Like once you grow into the thing, you're growing past into something else. And I actually my story is that I started doing loans. Both my parents are in real estate. I'm from a real estate family. And so it's always been, I've been in that conversation forever since I can remember.
Right.
And when I moved out to Portland to be in my band, you know, I was doing some like sales work and stuff, but it was hard. It was also kind of pre-internet the way we know it now. So we couldn't, like work wasn't as fluid as it is now. Yeah, you'd have, like you said, if you wanted to do a tour, you'd have to like quit your job or have some kind of bartender job that you could kind of like come and go with.
Yeah, right.
But I had a friend doing real estate out here And it occurred to me that, oh, I could just make my own schedule and do whatever. I could go on tour whenever I wanted to. If I did, I thought I was going to maybe get my license, but I got into lending instead. And once I kind of got in a rhythm with doing loans, the reason I did it was to be flexible to go on tour. And I got offered a 6-week tour that didn't pay anything. And it just all of a sudden I was just like, well, now that I can do it, I don't think I want to do it anymore. Like,
right.
I'm making more money. I'm just having fun here. That sounds miserable. Opening, it was like some like support slot playing all across the country. And like you said, like 2 years ago, the 2 years ago version of me would just like drop everything to do that.
Yeah, of course.
And now once you see what the workload is like, I mean, it's horrible.
It really it's bad on a person if their personality is prone to going towards, I just want to be accepted. I just want to know, and maybe I don't even want the tour. I just want to know that I could get it. And then you
I think you're right.
You're like, oh God, this tour. Why am I on this tour? If I get offered a tour, I still have a hard time turning it down. But if I even if I do a one-off in Santa Ana, I'm like, oh God, I get there for a 6 o'clock sound check. I'm like, what am I doing here? I don't go on until 9:30. I spend an hour and a half in traffic, 3 hours between the 12-minute sound check and the 40-minute set. And then I have to drive home an hour. Like, it's a 7-hour chunk for $400. You're like, it was fun. I love it. It's not fulfilling. But you're like, why did I accept this? I get to play music. I just have some friends over and play them a new song and scratch that exact same itch of like, I just want to keep making. So yeah, real estate really, or lending, it really makes sense to just take the weight off of the art. You'll make better art. I really believe that. That's good. Anyway.
Yeah, that was something, but before we hit record, you mentioned like that you're having so much fun and that you feel like promoting yourself as a real estate agent is somehow cleaner or easier to do than to promote yourself as an artist.
Exactly. I really think so. Well, it's at least you're offering a service that for now people need, and I really feel like I'm helping everybody that buys a house. It's such a beautiful thing for me. Whenever I've bought 3 for myself now, and it's a transcendent experience, and it's so important. So, it's rather than entertaining people at a bar, I think.
Yeah,
I mean?
Yeah, no doubt.
And it also doesn't take away from creating music. It just means, you do that on the, you don't put everything into like pushing the songs on people and being like, please come to my show. I'm in Cincinnati. And the promoter emailed me and told me the tickets weren't selling well. Like, no kidding. It's Cincinnati. It's not, they're not going to sell well, I don't know.
How do you market? How do you make marketing? I think a lot of real estate agents actually don't enjoy the process of marketing their business. How do you make it fun for you?
Well, I really love I think I can't speak for them, but I really do feel like a lot of real estate agents are torn probably between wanting to promote themselves and not wanting to look like the broke agent of the 1980s and 90s. That's like, head through a house outline and, just embarrassments of themselves, just like putting themselves out there. And I'm really leaning into that. I'm actually like, no, I want that, because isn't that funny?
Like, your Instagram presence is very retrograde, like real estate power shot. I wanted to see like a big brick phone in your hand, like call me.
Right.
That's so LA of you. I just feel like that is totally appropriate for LA.
It's perfect. It's really fun. I mean, that's the thing too. I don't think I could probably get away with this in, I don't know, other places that are less self-aware, that are maybe that's more the reality is, like guy through the house kind of thing. But I'm just having such a good time. I'm making hang on, this dog is barking still.
You could tell he's distracted by the dog.
Right? The dog. I love the dog.
I've got a lot of merch for the real estate thing. I've got 2 different shirt designs.
T-shirts.
T-shirts and buttons and stickers and koozies and magnets and a couple of several different designs. I just took out a bunch of ads at the local Vons, the dividers that separate my groceries from your groceries.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I got those ads for the next 6 months, the whole grocery store. And a few people have said like, well, is that gonna work? Like, do you really think it's worth the $1,700 or whatever for the next 6 months? Like, oh no, you missed it. I don't care about that part. I don't care. You know,
You care about working. You care about creating this whole net of like almost like it's almost like jokes, but they're not jokes.
Yeah, that's right.
But it's funny. You're having fun with and making fun. It's a kind of a meta commentary on real estate marketing and the real estate as a service, I guess. I think it's great. If I was in LA and I would totally respond to that. I'm sure I'd be like, oh my God, I love this guy.
I hope so. You know, I really don't care. I mean, because at the end of the day, I feel like my clients mostly come from word of mouth or from friends of friends or from friends of clients. And
right.
I've been super busy with it. So I've been doing it a year. I've sold 5 houses and done like 12 referrals. And the referral game is really where it's at. And I've also been another marketing thing that I've done.
For you, I mean, you must have an email list that's just nationwide, you know?
Yeah. I've got a lot of people I can reach out to. So I've tried that a little bit and been a little not wanting to exploit it too much of like, you know, but then at the same time being like, well, here, this is what I'm doing. So I really just love it so much. So I don't, at the end of the day, I was like, yeah, this might be annoying, but I don't care. I really love it. And I'm passionate about it. So if you want to check it out, I'd love to help, you know? And the other thing, I forget what I was going to say. I don't remember. But.
Talking about the Vons, the marketing piece.
Yeah, there was something else.
My head is still there. I think that's the kind of thing that no one would, no one's going to see that and not know you and call you.
Yeah.
But the people who already know you and have hired you.
That's right.
That then see that will just have this like explosion of love in their heart and they'll never forget. They'll be like, oh my God, like now they'll always know you and always right. Refer you in the future.
Exactly. Yeah. And I know what I was going to say is another approach that I've had is just kind of agitating. I feel like through agitation, you can actually get a conversation going. For instance, when I wasn't busy and I just got started, I'd go to these open houses in, you know, Beverly Hills that were $20 million listings and stuff. Like, oh, they'll let me in here. I have a license. I'm like, hi, I'm here for the open house. And, I go to these, you know, celebrity mini mansions and stuff in the hills, and I'll do a mortgage breakdown on my Instagram. Be like, so this $20 million place, you know, monthly is only $188,000, or, you know, and really do a breakdown as if you were to buy it on a conventional loan, which it just, what it does is I'll put up a series of those videos and get 30, 40 messages of just like, that's bullshit. Do you know how much houses cost in Tennessee? Like, no, how much are houses in Tennessee? Are you looking? Or I have a great realtor in Tennessee, you know? And, I've gotten a lot of referrals that way just because people are pissed about how much houses cost in a neighborhood they're not even looking. Like, why get mad about it? But sure, get mad. Talk to me. I love to talk about it. So let's talk, you know?
That is funny.
That's awesome. I love that. Yeah.
I feel like that the brand of it all being authentic to you, like, just allows it to attract your tribe. I think your tribe gets the joke, you know, like that's the cool part is when you just lean into who you are and you put that into your branding, like people just get it. If they get it, if they're your tribe, they get it.
That's right. And it also cuts the fat off the people that would really probably not mesh well, you know?
Right.
And so it's kind of quality control.
Absolutely. That's so good. Tell me about what is your Instagram handle?
Dad Country.
Dad Country.
Yeah. Kind of like Dad Rock, but country.
Country music. Yeah. So how many followers do you have on Instagram? Seems like maybe quite a few.
21,000, I think, something like that.
Nice. Dad Country.
Dad Country.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. It's kind of my genre.
Everybody's going to want to listen to this and then go check out Dad Country on Instagram to see what you're doing.
Absolutely. It's a great follow on Instagram. Yeah. There's all kinds. I mean, there's real estate, humor, great music, crazy imagery, crazy outfits.
Right.
There was some wild mustaches there for a while, I think. You went to India once, and I followed you on that. That was amazing.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of action on that feed, so check that out for sure.
Yeah. Instagram's a fun one. I feel like they're about to screw it up. Like I feel like it's on the edge of just really going down. I feel like they are. I feel like the way they've tweaked the algorithm, it's made it harder to enjoy, but I don't know. I still really like it.
Nice.
Personally, I've struggled with Instagram. I don't know how to engage with it very well. I feel like I click on I would love to be able to, when you click on someone you're following, you get the grid of photos.
Right.
Like I want to just like go through them real fast.
So if you go to mine and you look at one photo, if you scroll up, it'll be the next photo. It's just in a string.
Oh, you got to go up? I'm trying to go sideways and it won't let me, and I have to like back out, go back in, back out.
No, it's just
I just don't even know the moves, man.
Right. I think that's a new thing, actually. So the up thing is new.
The up thing. That's a good tip. Another thing is that like my wife is big on Instagram, and like, I mean, in that she is that's like her go-to social media thing. And I feel like it's like, she doesn't want me to like get in there and start liking stuff and like getting involved. She's just like, stay away, stay out of this. This is my little zone. Get out.
Space. That's funny.
And I'm like, that's fine. I'm on Twitter geeking out about everything else. But, and she doesn't want anything to do with Twitter. So we have our little separate areas of operating.
Chris, I'm curious to hear what your advice would be for marketing stuff. Like, do you have some tips and stuff? I'm always all ears for marketing people to be like, well, here's what the marketing people are doing. What are the marketing people doing these days to promote real estate?
Yeah, man, I think you're on it. I always tell people like, you got to be authentic, because people can smell that now. They can smell it if you're not.
Mile away.
And they don't want information. They want connection. So it's not about like what you listed and what you sold. So, like they want connection. Your branding totally creates connection. That's why that works. And I think consistency in your content, it's just, content is the thing that allows you to create relationships at scale. And if you're not being consistent in your content, then people can't stay connected to you. So that's true. I mean, it's not complicated.
I think what you're doing on Instagram is that consistent content. Yep. I mean, as long as you keep documenting your day to day and your day to day involves real estate, people will start falling into real engagements with you. I think most people in the business, I mean, I love that you asked us that question, but I would say most people should do what you're doing. It's just, I know you probably wish you had more clients. We always kind of feel that. But I think it won't be long before you have more clients that you know what to do with.
Right.
In a year or so. I mean, it's like building a bonfire.
Right.
At first you're just trying to like catch a spark, and then you're trying to like keep it going. And then if you don't have a big foundation, it just
fizzles. Yeah.
It fizzles out. But once you kind of get it going, you have to step back from it. It gets so big. And then to get it going again, you just throw a log on it and step back, and it comes back up again, like that's there's like a flywheel, not to mix my metaphors, but you're doing some really cool things. And I think that, like Chris said, the people that connect to you are super in and are going to be excited to work with you and excited to tell their friends about you.
Yeah.
So what you're doing reminds me of one of my favorite marketing gurus, this guy, Seth Godin. Have you heard of Seth Godin?
No.
So I'm so glad to be able to
Seth Godin.
Bring that to you. He's written a bunch of books. Some are better than others. The book that Chris and I talk about a lot is called Tribes. That's an amazing book. But I think the book that will most resonate with you is a really short, easy book to read called The Purple Cow.
Seth Godin, The Purple Cow.
Seth Godin, The Purple Cow. Check that book out. And I think you'll just read that book and nod your head the whole time, being like, oh yeah, I agree with this. I'm already doing that. I could do this better. But it's really, the whole book is just about the basic ingredient of marketing is being remarkable. It's being worth talking about.
Mm-hmm.
If you just do like, oh, I'm a real estate agent, like sign here, we're going to write the offer and just do the basic thing. And they bought the houses. Is that everything happened exactly like they thought it would? That's just sort of regular. That's not remarkable. But if you do something where like someone comes home or they go to the office the next day and you'd be like, you'll never believe what just happened to me, this open house. Like this craziest thing just happened to me.
Right.
And so like, I think you're able to spark those kinds of experiences for people much better than a lot of other people in the business that I know of. So I think check out the Purple Cow. That would be my recommendation to you.
That really is true. You know, I often think about, I've had a few clients that don't know me at all, and I've just been kind of like, oh, hey, real estate agent Jonny, let's talk, and it really hasn't gone well, and for a long time I wasn't getting buyer exclusivity, and now I do on every single client, because it's just
it's a battle. It's a battle out there, man. Southern Los Angeles, you don't know what those people are going to do.
I'm saying, and also like, you need a real estate agent to just fill out some forms and stuff. Well, then there's so many that are just going to tell you anything to do whatever. So I've definitely been very aware of that. It's like, there needs to be something extra, like, special, like a reason. And I don't know, my approach is definitely unorthodox and has been really funny to be kind of off-putting. It's like LA's premier used house salesman. What the hell is this? It's like, I'm not going to call that guy, but I do need a real estate agent. But on the other hand, if you get a recommendation, you're like, well, who is he? He's like, well, just look at it. LA's premier used house. I'm like, well, that's funny. Like, come on in. I don't know. I definitely want to be like goofball, 80s broke agent mixed with passionate, artistic, really knowledgeable.
Right. It's actually a legit, excellent experience throughout. Yeah.
That's so good.
Exactly.
I love that juxtaposition. I think juxtaposition works really well with people. Like when you're goofy, but then I can take you seriously too. Like all of a sudden it's this weird alchemy of like, dude, I don't know, something's cool about this guy. I gotta know more.
Yeah. Right. Certainly hope that. Really cool. Hope that.
Awesome. Well, hopefully that this podcast will expand your reach. Hopefully some of your cool charisma will reflect onto to Chris and myself, and we really appreciate you taking the time to chat with us, man.
Thanks, fellas. Thanks a lot. This was fun.
Jonny, how do people, in addition to your dad country Instagram handle, how else do people connect with you if they want to reach out to you?
On the Dad Country Instagram, which I kind of send most people there, is a contact for email and phone. You can text or call or email me. And I kind of just send everybody there because it's easiest to remember. Dad Country, just Instagram, Dad Country, that's probably the easiest.
Beautiful.
Awesome.
James, how about you? If people want to reach out to you because they have a loan for you in Portland or they just want to know more about
of course, I'm licensed to lend in Oregon and Washington alike, but it's just the pdxhomeloan.com website. I wish I was sipping on a 40 like Jonny, but I'm not.
T-like.
Yeah. Yes. I love that. That's very LA. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for your time today. That was a fantastic, fun conversation. I love it.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Keep doing it, Jonny. I love it.
All right, see you next time.
See you guys. Bye.
Bye.